Hello, viewers. It's the Mindful Man with shorter hair reading Spirits of the Sun by Sidney Philippe, chapter Disturbance. Melati keeps her eyes closed as she listens to the howling and screeching. I'm laughing. When the noises fade away, she hears again the ceaseless chirping of crickets and croaking of frogs. Nearby, a gecko breaks into its loud rasping call. She turns over and tries to focus on the soft rumbling coming from the beach, trying to let herself drift back to sleep until the men start shouting. She opens her eyes. Yellow candlelight flickers onto the four bamboo walls. She glances at the bolted door. Next, she checks the shutter is locked tight against the wall, and she remembers her mother's instructions. Never open the shutter at night. The noises of the night are smothering the men's words, but she can tell they're angry. What's happening? She stands on her bed on tiptoes. She holds onto a rafter and pulls herself up to peep through the ventilation gap. A gentle breeze smelling of wood smoke blows into her face, but all she can see are the overhanging eaves of nipper leaves. She lets herself down and turns to look at the young girl, still fast asleep on the other bed. Sukma can sleep through thunderstorms. If I'm quiet, I can open the shutter just a bit so I can see. Two thick mangrove wood bolts hold the heavy wooden shutter against the wall. The first bolt Melati pulls up easily, but the second bolt has been wedged down tighter. It's stuck. Gripping the shaft with both hands, she tries again, twisting and pulling up. The bolt lurches free with a clunk, and the shutter cracks open. With her heart pounding, she glances at Sukma, who hasn't moved. Good, she's still sleeping. Melati now pushes at the bottom of the shutter to prop it open a little, then peers out through the narrow gap at the side. In the village clearing, she sees the silhouettes of bare-chested tribesmen moving in front of a blazing fire. A powerful built man shakes a spear as he paces and rants. Another man, slimmer yet muscular, is standing as he shouts and jabs a finger into the air. Several other men are also muttering loudly as they hunch on logs around the fire. Mel, oh spirit, she turns and stares. You open the shutter, says Sukma, sitting up on her bed. That's bad. Shh. Keep quiet. Why? My brothers are fighting. Sukma rolls off her bed. Let me see. Melati shifts out of the way, then peers through the narrow part of the gap above Sukma's head. Now 2 more men are also shouting and stabbing the air with their fingers, as if they're trying to goad her older brothers into attacking each other. What's it about? Asks Sukma from below. I don't know, I just want them to stop. Another man, older and sinewy in outline, gets to his feet and throws something into the fire, making it flare up and cough orange sparks into the darkness. Almost at once the younger men go quiet and stop gesticulating. At last, she breathes. Father called the spirits. The boat's too big, said Sukma. That's why they're jabbering, because it's taking too long to make. Melati looks down through the strands of black hair blowing between them. The boat has to be big. Sukma looks up, but it's too big. Suk, the boat has to be big enough for all of us. Sukma frowns and throws herself on the bed. So why are they always jabbering? Melati doesn't answer. Instead, she peers out through the gap. The men have all hunkered down around their fire, and the smoke has changed from a wooden muskiness to an acrid smell like burnt honey. Around the village, the sandy ground appears silvery while the shadows are pitch black. I must see him. She pushes her head through the gap and looks up at the bright round face of Father Moon. Then the sea breeze brings a salty freshness to her nose, and she turns her head. Between the thin trunks of coconut palms, she can see moonlit waves rippling towards her. Each wave tries to climb the beach, but one after another they are all defeated, curling and tumbling into luminescent surf that churns and wriggles, until finally giving up. A dark shape slinks between the trees, or at least she thinks she sees something move. Monkeys. She stares at the trees. Between the village and the beach there are many tall palms and also some tamarind, pandan, and lychee trees. Monkeys sometimes come after the fruit, but she can't hear any of their clattering or see them clambering in the branches. She can't see anything moving now. Just my imagination, there's nothing there. Mel, Mel, she hears Sukma say. Mel, Why, you aren't listening to me, and then her hair is tugged. She pulls her head inside. What is it? Sukma is kneeling primly on the bed with her night sarong arranged neatly around her, and with her long shiny black hair parted perfectly in the middle. She carries on combing and flicking hair behind her shoulders as she talks. They're taking ages to make that boat. It's us girls who have to make all the rope, and we'll have to make more tomorrow. Do you know how many husks there are? Melati knows there's a big pile of coconut husks, but their mothers are doing the hardest job of beating the husks into fibers. We only need to twist twine, she tells Sukma, and we have to plait the twine into rope. We need to help. Everyone's helping. I want to go fishing tomorrow. It's my fault I woke her up. Then she catches sight of a silhouette walking towards the house. Shh, they're coming back. She dislodges the latch and pulls the shutter against the wall so Sukma can push down on the two bolts. At the sound of the front door being opened, they both jump back on their beds. She hears her father's footsteps pause outside their bedroom door. Then he shuffles into the next room. But when the voices from the next room fall silent, Sukma starts pulling up the shutter bolts again. Shh, stop, Suk. You opened it, didn't you? Said Sukma, tutting her tongue in mock disapproval. Now I want to. Only if you don't tell. I promise. All right, just for a bit. Two men remain beside the fire. The others, including her brothers, have left for their houses. Sluk, there's nothing to see now. Sukma skips across to peer out of the other side of the open shutter. I want to see the new house. Melati follows, whispering, just for a little bit. Two shadows are moving under the eaves of a nearby house, and she can hear voices in conversation blurred into an incomprehensible murmur by the creeping of crickets. It's Bandri and Ayu walking in front of a candle. All right, she whispers, let's close the shutter now. Mel, it's my turn. I want to watch some more. As she waits for Sukma to get bored, Melati turns and looks back into their own room. She sees two bamboo beds and between them a small wooden table on which there is a clamshell with a beeswax candle burning bravely beneath a fluttering of moths. There are also two storage hammocks hanging from the rafters. In her personal hammock she can see her best sarong woven from soft banana fibers that's folded neatly on top of her other possessions. On one wall a display of fading white jasmine flowers has been hung to brighten the room, but there's not much else. Melati stirs her toes in the loose sand on the pebbled floor, thinking, I'm glad Sukma is allowed to share with me. Mel, what are you doing? She peers out through the gap again. This time she sees only a single shadow and the murmuring has stopped. Bandri and Ayu, maybe they're hugging and kissing. I don't know, she says. My brother was working on the boat today. I expect he's tired and wants to sleep, and we must close the shutter now. Just then they hear chuckling noises. That's not laughing, declares Sukma. Be quiet. Next she hears a faint creaking coming from the other house, telling her a bamboo bed is being sat on or laid upon. She also hears giggling, then trickling and slushing sounds. They're drinking, she tells Sukma. Sukma glances up and pouts. That's not drinking, that's splashing. All right, they're washing, in addition to creaking, chuckling, giggling, washing, and indistinct tones of talking, and they also hear other sounds. That one sounded like a slap. What's that? I don't know. Listen. Now she hears a sound like a slow sobbing. She wipes away a trickle of perspiration. It's so hot. Mel, it sounds like he's hurting her. No, he's not, says Sukma. He loves her. He's always wanted Ayu to marry him. Hope you enjoyed this section. I'll be reading some more later.